At some point in time, Earth was successfully attacked and overrun by an alien army, which resulted in cities around the world are starting to lose power, as well as the food supply. And the only way to humans have a chance of survival. The local governments forced to let the aliens take power status. In the meantime, in Chicago City, the Drummond family is trying to escape from the chaos of the city using a car. Even though the father is a detective, but the police officers still stop them and reminded the father of the order has been given. Refused to follow those orders. The father turned his vehicle around and tried to find different escape routes, while telling his children if they need to regroup to make a match. But when it comes to a road, suddenly a figure, aliens block, and then killed his father and his wife, right in front of their two children named Raphael and Gabriel. 9 years later, the world has completely submitted to government, aliens known as the legislators. They set up the government in an underground habitat, the so-called closed zone. There were only a few officials, certain specially designated, who have access to enter the place. Military units had been eliminated and was replaced with a special police group which is required to act tougher to people who break the rules. Other than being forced to help aliens exploiting Earth's resources, people are also planted with insects, strangers in their necks that serve as tracking device. And anyone who dares to violate rules are punishable by death, or at least deported from Earth without can never come back again. All digital media is becoming very limited and is only accessible to appointed officials. Chicago City has been completely locked up and is under martial law. So that this thing resulted in the rise of an insurgency group known as the Phoenix Group had launched an attack into a closed zone. Even if the attempt is considered a failure, but they haven't given up on planning the action. The next action. In the meantime, Gabriel Drummond began his daily routine after spending the night with his girlfriend named Rolla, without realizing that during this is actually him being secretly watched by a cop named Commander William Mulligan. Leaving the apartment, Gabriel met a friend named Georges to rush out of this neighborhood as soon as possible. Before some spies as well as drones, aliens who were watching from the sky, saw them doing something suspicious. On the other side, Mulligan, who was reading the newspaper at the time, found the Phoenix logo in the headline. He then tagged her using a red marker, then went to a brothel that had a logo Phoenix on its wall. There he met a comfort woman named Priscilla. It gives us a small town. To Mulligan. Soon after some conversation, the policeman went back to headquarters where he has a board with clues, which gives an indication if the resistance group Phoenix hasn't actually been neutralized. And this is very contrary to what the government has informed to the public about the Phoenix group that was thought to be dead. Mulligan also told his colleague named Kermit about there is a possibility that Phoenix was hiding as well as communicating through newspaper ads. Kermit remains skeptical of the analysis and assumed Mulligan is pursuing a pointless thing. In the meantime, in an abandoned building, two members, Phoenix named Charles and Patrick, were seen having a meeting where Charles told me, Patrick, at night, this team will carry out the attack according to the order. Someone, the number one in the group. At the same time, Gabriel arrived at his workplace, which is the data claims center, where he had to take memory card of any existing phone to upload all her information into the database system before the card is destroyed. In the canteen, Gabriel met a colleague, as well as another member of the Phoenix, who gave him a cigarette, contains a secret information. After that, Gabriel went to an abandoned building and reunited with Georges to inspect a ship that they planned to use escape the city undetected. There, Georges also showed the weapons he had obtained, which instantly angered Gabriel. Because of this, will get them into more serious trouble. At the same time, suddenly heard the sound of police sirens approaching. which made Jurgis escape as soon as possible, while Gabriel had first hidden Jurgis's weapon before running away too. Unfortunately, Gabriel's escape did not last long after Mulligan managed to block and told him to get in the car. There, Mulligan, who used to be Gabriel's father's co-worker, he gave the young man food and asked him to provide information, anything about the Phoenix Group. And though Gabriel was reluctant to say anything, Recover keep letting it go, while reminding for Gabriel to side with the right side. After that, Gabriel's gone meet another Phoenix member named Raul to try to sell information that it was in the cigarette he got. However, Raul pushed him into the car instead, as well as attaching a special necklace to Gabriel's neck that works to block detection from tracking insects. He was then taken to an area called Wiker Park, where the Phoenix's first attack once took place. Gabriel later asked to enter an abandoned building, which immediately surprised him, because it turns out her brother named Raphael, that was previously reported to have been an attack, the first that Phoenix did, actually still alive. Raphael has been undetectable because he had removed the tracking bug that is on her neck. And ever since then, he also lives off the grid, which allows him to continue to run plan of the Phoenix with more freedom. Because basically Raphael want to follow the wishes of the father to get back together and do a match. After giving some money to Gabriel in exchange for a shipment of cigarettes contains information, then put the cigarette into a homing pigeon. Before then, he burned all his documents and shaved off his beard. In the meantime, Gabriel hurried back to the apartment to pack up his stuff and persuaded Rula to go with him using a ship hidden in where he was. Even told him about his meeting with his brother and tell the existence of a plan that the Phoenix Group will carry out in the near future. However, Rula refused Gabriel's invitation and persuaded the young men to stay there. Have no other option, Gabriel decided to go alone. However, as soon as he got out of the apartment, evidently the Mulligan had been waiting for him. This made Gabriel immediately realize that Rula has been working with the police to keep a close eye on her. Soon Gabriel too, running towards the narrow street that restores, must rely on the tracker for the sake of following Gabriel's movement. Until when I got to the abandoned parking lot, the noises Gabriel made, indirectly inviting groups of drones, aliens to start approaching. Immediately Gabriel hid in the guard post, as well as wearing a special necklace that was given by Raul before, to remove his tracks from the trackers. On the other side, messages through birds pigeons sent by Raphael before ended up being accepted by another Phoenix member named Patrick. He immediately handed over a message to a hacker named Ivan. It uses a code that printed in the cigarette to access the surveillance system in order to understand the spread pattern. Law enforcement unit that in Chicago City. Their target is the deputy mayor by the name of Robert Watch, who tonight is planned to be present in a union rally at a stadium. After their plans officially began, Patrick gives a coin to a little boy named Alex for him to use. Contacted Charles using a public phone and asked him to put one more advertisement in the newspaper. From there, messages began to spread to the members of the Phoenix who have been selected to join tonight's mission. The first person to see the ad was named Michael, which then conveyed it to a radio announcer to then play a special song. The song was heard by a second person named Evan, who then went and left his dog outside the garage belonging to another member named Anita. After gathering, the three people then came to Harrison, a surgeon, that are capable of ejecting tracking of their bodies. In the meantime, Raphael with a priest named Edward took one of the church's possessions for them to use as a transaction tool in purchase an explosive device belonging to an alien, which was discovered by the woman from the wreckage of the plane. Those explosives are made of organic and has a transparent physical shape, which allowed them to carry the bomb, entering the stadium without being detected. Next, each of the members was also given a suicide pill, which must be swallowed if later any of them were caught. After everything feels ready, the group finally left, along with their last coordinator, whose name is Daniel. Arriving at Raphael's location, Edward and Daniel immediately entered the stadium, while Anita and Evan waited in the parking lot. While Patrick was with Ivan, being in the headquarters to guide them through the communicator. And Mulligan watched the entire event at the stadium through the television at home. Short after Mayor Robert did a speech and give the planned time to welcome legislators, strangers who arrived. Daniel with Raphael immediately carried out the action to divert attention as well as attached a bomb to Robert's body, which in the end when Robert approached legislators, the alien bomb then exploded. As a result of this incident, more and more planes, aliens as well as police who keep coming into the area, the stadium was in trouble. It was Edward was shot. Daniel managed to escape with Anita, while Raphael had no other choice other than to save yourself by running. Unfortunately, there was one of the aliens that managed to chase Raphael and then tried to kill him. Fortunate at this crucial time, Daniel suddenly appeared and directly hit the creature. It uses a fire extinguisher. He also had time to remove the face covering the alien to let him die slowly. Before the end, Daniel and Raphael made it into Anita's car. In the meantime, Gabriel, who had come out of hiding, surprised by the ship, he planned to use it to escape. Turned out to have been deliberately burned by someone. Refused to give up. Gabriel then took the gun he hid before, as well as wearing a special necklace for later leave the place. On the other side, Mulligan met with the police commissioner, named Eugenico, who asked him to hand over the affairs of the group, this Phoenix, to the alien hunter. Before then, Ego riding a special elevator to meet with legislators in closed zone. Got this unexpected order. Mulligan soon returned to visit Priscilla to tell that now he can no longer protect her. Heard that, Priscilla simply replied that she believed to Mulligan. They then dance together for the last time, before Mulligan leaves there. Some time later, special forces led by Mulligan arrived at the Phoenix Group's neighborhood and started raiding the buildings there. The residents who involved in a rebel group start throwing away clues that they keep and hide wherever they can. However, most of them were arrested and interrogated by the police, where they're searching for the Drummond's whereabouts brothers, which is strongly suspected to be the trigger for an attack in the stadium, until when it was Jurgis's turn to be interrogated. He even tried to fight back, which forced the police to beat him up. Look at this thing. Gabriel deliberately came out of hiding and gave himself up to save Jurgis. After that arrest, Mulligan led his army to force Ivan tell the hiding of another colleague by going to his wife. In the meantime, Raphael arrived at a terminal, where it is also seen Daniel got on one of the buses. Soon Raphael, together, and Anita got on a different bus from Daniel, to minimize arrest. Unfortunately, right when the bus was about to leave, suddenly the terminal's power went out, which indicates that the alien hunters have also arrived at this place. And damn, not long after, Daniel's whereabouts were known by aliens that made Anita leaving his seat to intend to help Daniel. However, Raphael immediately dissuaded her and dragged her to sit back down before the alien hunters could see it. She had no other choice besides seeing how Daniel swallow his suicide pill, then died on the terminal floor. Claiming that this isn't over, the male Anita decided to try to attack. However, its movement was immediately seen aliens that instantly killed him. Raphael uses distraction. This is to participate in the attack, which then threw him out of the bus. Unfortunately, before Raphael could swallow his suicide pill, Restore that also came in place. This quickly shot his hand and thwarted him in his attempts. At the police station, Mulligan interrogated Gabriel about his involvement in the Phoenix Group. But because at that time Gabriel refused to cooperate, Mulligan also took her to meet Raphael, who is being chained and beaten. Raphael also asked to Gabriel not to take orders, anything from Mulligan because Raphael thinks if he himself is actually dead. However, because Mulligan promised to let Raphael stay alive, as long as Gabriel was willing to work for him, Gabriel had no other choice. And now, after the police arrest mission was completed, Gabriel became the only link recover with Phoenix Group. Gabriel was given a newspaper that had been circled with a red marker before. He was asked to bring the newspaper to places that he used to go when sending information. In short, Gabriel rushed over. Meet Raul, who again took him. Go by car, just like the last time. Gabriel was then dropped off at the hideout, Patrick to be reunited with Charles. Whereafter Gabriel said Raphael's name and, showing the newspaper giving Mulligan, Charles revealed that he ready to take Gabriel to the #1 person in the Phoenix Group. Which surprisingly, apparently the #1 person and simultaneously become the leader Phoenix of the actually group is Priscilla. Gabriel was also surprised, because Priscilla had known his name, and claims to know his family closely. But before the two could speak many things, sudden the cops broke in, and directly shot Priscilla on the spot. When Gabriel left the venue, Mulligan with Kermit arrived at the scene. And when the Kermit asks if Mulligan knows a place, they lie by saying no. While the molecules cover the event with a blanket, Kermit saw various details that made no sense. Gun belonging to events, empty, and he also kept the history books in a room that he uses only for paid intimacy. When checking the only decoration on the wall, Kermit found there is a microphone that was connected to within a room hidden behind a closet. Inside was a recording computer and some piles of tape, which is declared to belong to Priscilla herself. A few hours later, for the successful arrest, the #1 person in this Phoenix Group, Mulligan gets ordered to report directly to the governor, as well as the alien legislator, through intermediary of a translator connected to the zone closed there. Tells all the details behind the Phoenix Group that they had found on Priscilla's computer. He detailed all the names and the work of everyone who involved with the Phoenix Group. And now, after their #1 was successfully removed, all the rebel members, this has committed suicide before they could be arrested. So Mulligan states that the Phoenix network in Chicago City has now been completely neutralized. The aliens then asked more about Priscilla, and Mulligan tells them that he used to be, is a teacher. Priscilla formed the Phoenix Rebellion group and get behind the scenes by posing as a prostitute. In order to gain access on the government side, as well as the police who hired her services, Priscilla will seduce the politicians to leak information, secrets coming from the legislators. And this can be proven by recording tapes that they got from Priscilla's room. There's a lot of governors' voices on that tape, but most of all, Commissioner Ego's voice is also there, and has passed along a lot of information to the rebels without him knowing. Listen to this statement. Go left the room with embarrassment. Mulligan's success in revealing the chain of command that has been infiltrated get legislators to decide to make Mulligan the new commissioner. Replace the position of Ego. And lastly, Mulligan asked to immediately descend to the closed zone and meet directly with legislators. Keep his promise to Gabriel. Moore also allowed Raphael to stay alive, but on condition he should be deported out of the Earth. Which in the end Gabriel was only able to see the plane. Alan took her brother away, with wounds clearly visible in his eyes. Mulligan then approached him and asked Gabriel to get in the car. There Mulligan gave him a memory card from cell phone that he got in the box previous Priscilla gift. Gabriel then turned on the card in his workplace by hiding them in the mouth. After inserting that memory into the computer, Gabriel was surprised by the video of her baby shower, where his parents spend time, along with most of the members of Phoenix. Mulligan was also there, and that time she was introduced to a co-worker, Gabriel's mother, which turned out to be Priscilla. This be the answer about how Priscilla can get to know and knowing Gabriel. The last recording with Mulligan tells Gabriel that he has a large family, and the future was his. Gabriel took this word as inspiration to bring the spirit Phoenix into the next action. On the other side, the policemen were having a party to celebrate the promotion, which has been accepted by Mulligans, but reluctant to celebrate the party, and decided to leave early. He went to a closed zone and had time to undergo standard procedure before then entering an elevator. The unconscious recover and replace it with a body filled with bombs. Invisible aliens show that apparently during the This Is Mulligan actually was part of the Phoenix group. And a whole series of events before is a mature plan that was approved by the group Phoenix to be appointed as a special official and have direct access facing to the legislators to give a fatal blast right in front of them, which in the end, thanks to this sacrifice, closed zone in Chicago City was successfully destroyed, and it inspires wave of resistance as well and other protests that are starting to break out in major cities around the world. And the movie ends there. Okay, until here first our discussion this time. And I hope you guys don't get dizzy with the plot twist. Please like if you like the video. Please like twice if you don't like. See you in the next video, and bye bye.